Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another fantastic and hopefully a memorable episode of Mount Shmoedown on the Schmoes of the North Network. I am one of your hosts today, Ryan Payne. Above me is my other co-host, John DeGregio. And as always, with me is my other co-pilot, co-captain, Ben Rayner. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
And ladies, what?
And ladies.
Oh no, we wanted to give a special time for you. We
okay.
get the
That's
pilots
okay,
out
then.
when we can.
We don't care what you get.
So we can focus on our VIP guests. But anyway, obviously, all of you in the chat or watching this live or looking on the replay, you obviously know that it's not just the three of us. We are joined here once again by Paige Fabretti of the Usual Suspects. Paige, we're really glad to have you with us.
No, thank you, man. I'm so excited to talk about one of my favorite players that I inspire to have such an impact like her in the league and to be able to play as well as her one day. So,
I mean, what other competitor? I mean, this is the best competitor to actually talk an episode about. I mean, Ben knows about this, but when we were trying to get this show off the ground, she was one of the first Schmoedown competitors I absolutely wanted to talk about. But Ben and our other former co-host, Brandon, they really were smart ahead. It's like, pump the brakes. Let's wait a little bit. Let's get some legs on the show before we jump into it, before we talk about her. But, I'm going to call the pretenses. We're talking about Clarke Wolfe, the classy Clarke Wolfe. Probably one of the best female Schmoedown competitors in the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
One of the best players, I think, overall. I mean, she's my favorite player. Hands down. She's one of the best. Best of the best.
Yeah, you pretty much spiced. You pretty much said you phrased it better than what I said. I mean, I don't know. I guess when it comes down with Clarke, it's just you could not, like, the moment she popped up in the early season, she immediately grabbed your attention. I mean, I came in much later on, but she's still one of those competitors that caught my eye. And I loved following her career in the Schmoedown, either for singles and teams, or seeing her on the desk. Gosh, she was just like such a magnetic personality.
Definitely.
For me, she's easy top 5, if not top 3, player of the whole league of the entire time it has been around. She's great.
Most definitely, like you mentioned before, Ryan, with her being on the desk and everything. And then, of course, here's the thing. No one can actually, with Mark Ellis and everything, it's actually hard to find that combo where it's both people talking back and forth and joking around. With her, she was able to fit in with Mark and just go back and forth with Mark. She's really easy to adjust to certain elements in her surroundings to where she can be a competitive person and stuff like that, and also be sweet as well. And that's also what makes her classy. And, I watched the Ben Bateman match and everything, especially whenever she went over there to try and shake his hand. He was going to hand her a flask and everything. He goes, "Oh, I thought you wanted a drink. I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted to shake my hand." But, I thought that she's very great no matter what she does. She always keeps it classy. I also love her movie news articles. I also like her reviews and stuff like that too, especially the horror movie show that her and Schnepp did and stuff like that. And then, of course, going into the horror realm with the Schmoedown stuff too, I really liked.
She just, I just want to be here. I mean, I want to be my own player in the league and bring something new, but I inspire so much to play like how she does. And like what she brings so much to the table, not just knowledge, but like grace pretty much too. Like
no, you are 100%,
beauty and grace.
100% correct on that. I mean, seriously, either she comes in just like she was always ready to play. Watching her in the Schmoedown, I mean, oh my God, my favorite. I mean, you want to talk about competitors that just love to play the game. Clarke, no matter what match she was playing, she always came out there with that competitive edge to her. Mm-hmm. And you can always tell she was there just to play the sport. She wasn't there to, do the whole like messing with people's minds, doing the mind games. She just goes like, I know the end. If I know it, I know it. If not, best educated guess. And we have seen throughout her, she's had so many ups and downs that it's really even on some of her losses, I count them as a great performance from her. I mean, I can't not help but see like her first opportunity at the belt going up against Dan Murrell in the early season 3. Sure. Oh, yes. That's right. That's right, Beatrice. You did say that. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Brian. But as I was saying though, I mean, seeing her first title match going up against Dan when she was like really on fire, it was kind of a bit of a rough go in that match though. But even still, she was even when she lost like 11-4 points, but even then, it was still a fantastic match to watch her play in. Her and Dan just being the most absolute relaxed amongst each other. Whatever they got on the wheel, they just stuck with it. This was when it was really much just about just playing with your friends or just colleagues and having fun. And there was nowhere in that match or anywhere in her season where I thought Clarke was getting dead serious about the league. I mean, not as serious as Roca, Bateman,
No.
and so many other during season 5 and 6 were, but she was still serious enough, but at the same time, still treat it like a game. Like, once it's all over, sure, you'll beat yourself up, and afterwards, like, yeah, okay, I messed up. I come back later. I'll have more fun afterwards.
And it's really great because she really evolved with her league. She was there for almost every iteration of this, of the Schmoedown. She was there for the Collider era. She was there for the next one. And I think he made some guests in season 7, right? In some ways.
She was made the commissioner for season 7. I believe she was on the desk when they were in studio. And Kristen did have some storyline plans for her, but of course, everything went down in 2020, so those plans were cut short. But even then, her role, she was going to transition from being a player to kind of like an on-camera personality for the season 7.
But yeah.
After you, Sean.
No. Go on ahead, man. Going ahead.
I was just about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we haven't seen the last of her. I couldn't see her easily make a comeback at some point.
I can definitely see her coming back, to be honest with you. I mean, I can definitely tell probably the game is still passionate with her and stuff like that. Just because she left does not mean that the game's not with her wherever she goes or anything. I can definitely see her coming back just to see what she can do. Yeah. Don't forget, we actually have players that came back over I forgot how many years of a hiatus or whatever, but they come back again because they love it so much and the interaction with everything. So I can definitely see her coming back, and I would love to see her come back to see how the game was once before and now how the game has changed now with the new rules and new regulations and stuff like that, and see how an old school Schmoedown competitor is and everything with the new rules set up and everything too. But, I always thought that Mark Riley and her really meshed up pretty well, but then you actually have Rachel the Cush, you know what I'm saying? You actually have the Crusher helping her along and everything. And this is a perfect blend of a perfect storm that happened with them. They were on a roll. They were on a tear at that time. And also, too, the Fife Club, she got her the belt that she deserved, that Clarke has been wanting. So Emma was a great person whenever it came down to managers and stuff like that. I really felt like Emma really was there to help. And you can actually see that, especially, too, when you see Mark and Draco helping her and everything else, too. I feel like that was a great collaboration with everybody.
Oh, yeah. I really don't think this is the last. Like, we'll see if her, whether it be just, like, on the desk or, like, as a player. I mean, I think even if she took, like, a 10-year hiatus, she'd still come back and whip some ass. So hopefully I can say that's ASS. But
I couldn't even see him coming back as a manager at some point.
Oh, that would actually be pretty awesome. Like, I mean, I'm on Sam Levine's team, but I mean, I would always secretly be rooting for her no matter what, because like I said, she really is like she is my favorite player that's ever played within the Schmoedown. So no, I just have so much respect to her as a player and just like as a person within the league so much.
I carry those same sentiments too. Like, if she did come back as a manager, there's no one, she'd immediately jump to the top of my favorite managers of all time, even though she wouldn't have had a chance to get proven yet. I'm just like, oh, Clarke's gonna be a manager next season. I'm sorry, Sam. Sorry, Coy. Sorry, Winston. Sorry, Roxy.
Right.
But Clarke is now my new favorite manager. And with Sam, she also if she were to be a manager, just like with Sam, she brings some knowledge of the game that can really help her players really find that edge of theirs in movie trivia. But I want to jump off of this and mainly just talk about Clarke as a player in general. Overall, just seeing from her transitions, first ever Rookie of the Year when it came down with her accomplishments because she captivated the audience so well. I mean, in her first early season, she played up against Makuga, she played against Sam Levine, of course, Dan Murrell, and just seeing how with her, she easily could have taken whatever came to her and would have nailed it, except, of course, in her match against her first shot at Dan, she got romance movies, and that didn't help her as much. But even then, the slices that she got early on the season, war film, Pauly Shore, fantasy sci-fi. I mean, Pauly Shore in general, that's a slice I'm like, wait, that existed?
Yep.
Really? Wow. Okay.
That was a tough slice, though, to be honest with you. Some of the questions that they would actually ask on that Pauly Shore thing was just insane, though, from what I remembered. But, it just goes to show you that, I love how Clarke would go on ahead and just choose whatever came to her first, even though her main goal was horror. She was just always about expanding out into other genres and everything and trying to figure out what best works for her and everything too. And then she would just go with the first slice that came to her mind and everything, and that would be it. And then she'll wind up crushing it most of the time, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's like the nice thing too. Like definitely like in the early seasons of the Schmoedown, like it was not that it was still very competitive, but it was a little bit more for fun. Like you're playing against your friends and all that stuff. So it's fun to see them just like, you know what? Like, let's see what I can do in this category real quick. And I think everyone should like kind of take that. I know like now we play for points and within our we play for a team, but sometimes it's nice to just be able to just like, let's take a swing at this, because sometimes it's nice just to be like, I want to see what I can do with this. And every time she did that, I mean, even if she didn't come out on top and win the match, she still played so well in her round twos, no matter what.
Right. Also, too. Sorry, go on ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry, I've been talking.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with Paige though. But when it came down with I was going to bounce off what you said earlier, John, about her being like a horror aficionado. Whenever she had gotten horror, it was like literally, you better hope she misses one question or to capitalize.
Yeah, game over.
Right.
And even then, matches when she did get horror, sometimes she came out on top and sometimes she lost. Especially when we saw that in teams. The only time she ever lost with horror, I believe, was when it was the Wolves of Steel versus the Patriots. And also when they played against above the line as well. But those are the only two times I can remember of memory that Clarke Wolfe has lost whenever she had spun horror. And even then, out of her entire career, when she spun horror, she spun it 8 times collectively in singles and teams matches. And then taking that with her overall playability of matches of 32, that's like 25% of the times that she had gotten horror. And so, believe me, so 25% of the time she had gotten that. And then you take away those 2, that would bring it back around to like somewhere within 16 to 17%. So 16 to 17% of the time she got horror, she won those matches. So looking at the fact that you are right, John. You are right. Her being a horror expert, that is without a doubt the slice that was synonymous with her. It's kind of disappointed me that with Scott Mans and Bateman face on release dates, how come Clarke never got her face on horror?
Right?
Right. I felt like she deserved that, though. I feel like that her or Riley both deserve that. It would be cool if it was like a collaboration with the both of them on the wheel.
Like Freddy versus Jason on it.
Right, exactly. But there's a part, I forgot if it was even when she was playing Bateman or it was KO Kalinowski, but there was a part on there where she did spin on her very first spin that she winded up landing on horror, and Riley's over there cheering and she goes, wait, calm down for a minute. Just because I got horror does not mean that I'm going to crush this. Because we seen where Riley went on ahead and he lost to a question that he already knew. It was a Friday the 13th question, I believe. And he winded up, because of that one error, it caused him the match from that second round. So she even owned up to the fact, hey, let's wait a minute and everything and collect everything. Just because I land on horror does not exactly mean that I'm going to crush it, you know?
Yeah, that's like the thing with her. She was so like well put together, and she knew like the strategy of the game. She knew like no matter who she was playing, that it's her against the questions, like no matter what. It wasn't just, she wasn't, I mean, obviously she was playing against the opponents, but it was her just wanting to dominate those questions every single time. And win or lose, she went in there fighting no matter what. And that's what I just love most about her.
Oh, for sure. Is there anything else that you want to mention, Ben, as well?
Well, I know that's not to talk about the teams. That's not where the Wolves are still. And what better way to do that than to bring up what started it all with the decision. So let me share my screen.
I was gonna say, I will say with Wolves of Steel, that team had some great hair. That's all I got. They're the best hair in the league. That's for damn sure.
And also, if you wanted to talk about actually, I'm glad you brought this up, Ben, because one thing I definitely want to talk about with Clarke Wolfe and also with Schmoedown competitors as well, that there are moments that really helps solidify them into the Schmoedown, to where you got those highlight reels, or there's certain moments people go back to that you can't ignore, or not ignore, but you just immediately connect to this person. That Clarke's first year of her debuting, I mean, her debut in that year, she got so much attention that she got, like what you're about to bring up, the decision. The fact that JTE at the time wanted to look for a team partner, and the first person he thought of was Clarke Wolfe. And then the fact that Christian built this huge little event around Clarke Wolfe making a decision who she was going to pick as her partner. And then the ripple effects it had is just amazing. But go ahead. Are you going to jump to the moment?
Yeah, well, 1 second. I forgot something. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You can pull that up. But before Ben can find that moment, I mean, the fact that Clarke Wolfe, I mean, before then, this was before JTE got that little mockumentary on the fall of Little Evil. So the fact that the shows were really going to, like, I loved how Christian and Mark, they were trying to experiment with this whole, like trying to make it kind of like a mocking of sports, but then also trying to do those mockumentaries like they did with JTE and Roca. So I love the fact that Clarke Wolfe has her own her own moment in the Schmoedown.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, Schmoeville, we are here. It is the moment we've all been waiting for, Mark.
Oh my God,
it is time. It is pretty crazy, the energy in this room right now. I can only imagine what it's like.
You know what? All apologies to the boys club. We could not have you come in. We could not have Jim Gray come in to make this decision, and LeBron James has nothing to do with this, but it's just as impactful in the world of schmoes and the Schmoedown. Christian, the movie trivia Schmoedown is about to be changed forever.
So this all happened. You know, you had this team that was together for a very long time.
All right, Ben, we're gonna like watch the whole thing. You're just gonna look to the moment when Clarke makes her decision.
Oh, I know that music.
Thanks for dressing and joining us.
You know what? Everyone has their opinion, and they've let me know their opinion. It was this
just from that.
I'm sorry.
That's a strong.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to live.
So he didn't really compliment my game that well.
Matches though, because one of my favorite things about the Schmoedown are the entrances.
He does make sense in a strategy thing. I think he could have gone about it a lot different.
Get to the moment when Finstock showed up.
Okay, it's coming.
Well, like I'm saying here, with the whole decision, within this whole 29 minutes, we have there like the whole storyline of JTE and Finstock, the breaking of a box office breakdown, then which leads to the moment of hold on, keep going, Ben. Keep scrolling. Oh, keep scrolling, Ben. I think you are here. This is the moment.
That maybe we should team up and
this is it
on the Schmoedown.
Okay, now so give everybody a little backstory. So what we're going to be doing here, starting in August, because we are going to be doing the Ultimate Schmoedown Singles Championship tournament that will be on the channel. The league is happening on Collider.
Okay. First of all, you guys know, I've said it before, before I came on my match with Josh McCouga, I watched every Schmoedown at least once, sometimes twice. And I saw how good of a competitor you are. Like, you know your shit. And the truth is, you and I, in terms of our strengths and our pools of knowledge, we would really complement each other. And I think that we could be a really incredible team. However,
oh shit! I knew it.
However, at the same time that you reached out to me about this, someone else reached out to me as well, and they're here tonight.
I think I know who it is.
Where's the curtain?
Yeah,
Where's
of course.
the
That music.
No way! Unbelievable! What?
So Mark Riley reached out to me, and at the exact same time, and he and I are.
Pete Riley, the reigning champion, JTE's beast, I guess.
I thought she was going to say me.
Wait,
I gotta respect this decision because she went after the one person who's proven he's a little bit better than me.
right.
So I actually respect this decision.
I respect that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. But it's a good moment you brought up, Ben, because we were discussing this earlier on. The decision itself, the ripple effect afterwards. Clarke joins Riley, forming the Wolves of Steel, and then just like that, following that within minutes, JTE says, "Oh, I have a backup partner." And we get Jeff Snyder, and it's the formation of the Patriots. And then on that same show, Finstock, who also said, look, if we're no longer partners, I got myself a partner too. And then pops up Josh McCouga. So within that episode alone, all centered around Clarke Wolfe's decision, we get the formation of 3 teams. 2, Wolves of Steel and Patriots have a great run. Mega powers, 2 matches, and they were broke apart. But even then, the impact that decision made is amazing. And then Christian, as I will say, as a good storyline genius he brought that back later in season 4 when the Wolves of Steel were making their comeback. When after they beating 6 Degrees and then beating ETC, they were challenging the Patriots. And then also at the time, Mark Riley was going to go for the championship. Oh, go for it, Paige. We'll hold down the fort. But as I was saying, at the same time as Mark Riley during season 4, as he was doing his singles run for the belt, Clarke Wolfe steps in and wanted to go against JTE. And I'm bringing this up for a very good reason. Not only was this a great storyline, they had a great promo package for that match between Clarke Wolfe and JTE, but also in that match between Clarke Wolfe and JTE, it was the debut of the JTE rule and the challenge. Those two rules, those 2 elements that become synonymous with the Schmoedown, the JTE and the challenge, they both made their debut in that match against Clarke Wolfe and JTE, along with that short-lived Keys to Victory by Booker T. I mean, sure, when you look at that match, it may not strike to you as, oh, it's just another simple movie trivia match. But if you want to look back if you ever want to ask yourself, when did the JTE rules ever come up? What match did they first debut? This is the match. So everybody in the live chat and rewatching, Clarke Wolfe versus JTE in season 4 was the match when the JTE rules, with the JTE repeats and the challenge rules were finally implemented into the Schmoedown and moving forward. And even then, that match was still that match was also awesome. I mean, Clarke Wolfe, she was behind JTE at first. She only got a 1-point lead against him, and then we get into the second round. She wanted to go for horror, but she gets animated. She's still able to maintain herself. JTE gets a steal off of her, and then JTE, I believe he lands on, sci-fi fantasy or comic book movies. And so it was still a very competent lead between the 2 of them. And Clarke Wolfe ends up winning. Then later on, we end up getting a Wolves of Steel versus Wolves of Steel with Clarke Wolfe versus Mark Riley. The winner got to play John Roca for the championship. So that is one thing about Clarke Wolfe. As much as she is synonymous as a champion, there have been so many moments she came close in her early year before teaming with Rachel. She came close to a belt. I mean, her championship, her shot at Dan Murrell, and then, of course, the Wolves of Steel. If they had beaten Team Heroes, they would have played the Patriots, because when the Patriots beat Heroes, they got the challenge for the championship against Top 10. So if the Wolves of Steel had won, we would have seen them against the Patriots, and then maybe we could have seen Wolves of Steel versus Top 10. But even then, it was still fine. Like, Clarke Wolfe, so many close opportunities for that belt. I took up so much time, but Ben, John, your thoughts, guys, or anything you else want to contribute?
It hit sucks because I think the Wolf. I can't remember. Didn't she play World Cup, right?
No, she hasn't.
Really?
No.
Wow.
She never got to play Roca on either singles or teams. That's why that match against her and Riley, that could have been an opportunity for her to play against Roca, but she just missed her 5-pointer and Riley won.
Wow.
But
was that the infamous Guardians of the Galaxy question?
No. In her match against JTE's 5-pointer was, what is the name of the planet that's home to the Green Lantern Corps?
Oh.
I believe her Guardians of the Galaxy question, it could have came later in her season. John sat down for a second. We'll hold the fort down by the time he and Paige get back.
Yeah. And then, you have to wonder who would win in that match, in those matches, Roca or Wolf.
Well,
you have to wonder that.
Honestly, it's a toss-up because at that time, Roca was playing like he had nothing to lose.
I'm so sorry.
That is perfectly okay, Paige. Don't worry. You got nothing to apologize.
Sorry about that. My sister just was up. Her doggy has a stomach ache, so she was just very sad. So I just had to make sure everything was okay. So I apologize.
Then trust me, there's nothing to apologize for. You have to take
what
care
I missed,
of.
though, gentlemen.
I was mainly talking about Clarke Wolfe and JTE, their match in season 4. How it was the first time the JTE rule and the challenges were first brought into the Schmoedown, actually.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. And it's so funny. Like, when I played in my match, obviously I used all my JTE rules because you should use them. You got to save them to the end and use them. But, like, I literally just, I don't know. I was so much in my head that I always wanted to say, like, JTE, please. Like, give me a JTE rule. Like, repeat. But I literally never did. I was just like, repeat. Like, I think it's because I was like so nervous that I was just like, I'm just gonna be nice.
No, and that's perfectly fine. I've seen so many rookies I've seen this season and last season, even this, where the JTE rules, they literally are kind of like a double-edged sword. You want to make sure you get all your questions early out the gate, but then you realize there could be tougher ones down the road, and you kind of wonder yourself, why am I only getting 3 repeats here? But even then, it's kind of like strategy-wise. Like,
it helps you with the time. That's the biggest thing, is just the time. Sometimes you don't even really need the question; you just need that time.
Exactly. But yeah, I was only mainly mentioning that match alone for the historical purposes of the Schmoedown, because before that match, every competitor could have easily said repeat for an unlimited amount of time. I guess now implementing those 3 repeats alone was kind of a way to help shorten, help with really restricting time for the matches, how long they shoot, and then also so they don't waste the time, waste 3 minutes on one question because someone keeps asking for a repeat.
That, and I feel like it also makes it more difficult for the players itself too, because it's like, all right, you can only have 3 chances to get yourself more time and to rehear the question. And once you use them all, you're just like, oh, great. Now I just got to listen very clearly. And then you also have 2 people bantering right after they say the question. So you just got to make sure you're in your head and you're just hearing everything so clearly.
Exactly. You got to be in the zone. But I spend a lot of time talking about just the JTE and Clarke Wolfe little storyline. But if there's any other moments you guys see within Clarke Wolfe's career, but before she joined up with Rachel or after she joined up with Rachel, that just was amazing, or just something that really stuck out to you at all?
Well, I guess we have to I guess we should bring up the time when they won the title match, her and Rachel.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that's my favorite match. I mean, if you think about it, the number one contender match they won in, what was it, a TKO? And then in their championship match, they won in a KO. So I'm just like, right there, I was just like, all right, this team is coming to play. They're not here to mess around, and they're showing the boys how it's meant to be played. And that's what I was just like, all right, this is my favorite team now. Like, they're here to play. They're showing everyone up.
To be honest with you, Paige, that's actually how I feel whenever I watch that, though. It's like, you know what? Girls can do just as good as the guys can. Let's show them what we have, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And they were just badass. They were on fire. They knew what they wanted to do coming out of the gate with this. They knew exactly what they were aiming for. And without them, you know, Clarke wouldn't have gotten that championship belt that she got and everything else. And they were just dominant and everything at that time.
And I mean, I could be wrong, but isn't this the championship match when, like, I mean, she says, like, my favorite quote, like, that will ever go down in Schmoedown is that, like, after they won that, it was, like, we don't need a women's league. Like, we are the league. And I still get goosebumps, like, when I watch it and stuff, because I'm just like, it's so true. Like, people always think, like, this is such a male-dominant league, any sport or competition, but these girls and us new competitors within the Schmoedown that are female, like, even though we may have to play against each other, we're still all cheering for each other no matter what. Like, we all still have each other's back. And, like, we're here. We want to show all these boys that this is not just a male-heavy sport. Like, us girls can compete just with any of you guys, if not 10 times better. So,
exactly.
Yeah. And that is the match. Go ahead, John. You get the floor.
No, it's okay.
I take up too much time. The floor is yours.
Okay. But yeah, here's the thing. I feel like women are more dominant than guys are. Like, whenever there's like a certain women competitor, I'm like, oh shit. I'm scared of this woman.
And I think like us as like female competitors, I feel like we're more composed and we handle ourselves so much better than the boys do, like, out there.
Right.
We're there to play. We're not there just to shoot the shit and have, like, we are there to have a good time, but we're there for business. Like,
you're there to clean house is basically what you guys are doing.
Exactly.
There's another thing.
There's a lot of footage to back up your sentiments. How I've seen so many. You look at most of the male competitors; they are always like emotionally responsive if they miss something, or they'll curse out, or they'll. I mean, come on, the whole Bateman and Roca waiting until, and then it's like, I don't know, and then John Carpenter, you son of a bitch, you got it.
Yeah,
I don't see that with the female competitors. It's just more of like, you knew it.
More composed. Even though when I did get my last two questions wrong in the Schmoedown, once I went off the air, I was, once the match is over, then you can lose your shit. But during the match, though, we keep ourselves together because at the end of the day, like, we're just here to play our best game, and that's all you can really do. So
right. Also, too, like, with men, we're very reactionary to certain things. So basically, we don't take a chance to actually just consume what we have in our own brains to comprehend a question, and we just go right off of the top on what we think we know, rather than calculate ourselves and reanalyze ourselves. We just like, yeah, it's like the Baspin question or whatever question it is, and then we wind up getting it wrong. I'm like, shit. But then, women, they collect their thoughts. They're more responsive and everything else to their thought process. We just like go off for the first thing that pops in our head, and that's it. And that's why I also like having female co-hosts and stuff like that with me on my show and stuff like that, because here's the thing. Our viewpoints are different than female viewpoints and everything else. Ours is like one note. Women's perspectives are different layers to those notes. Exactly. That's why I like female competitors and stuff like that too. So, I definitely feel like that's why there's such a big presence within the Schmoedown and everything too.
And Clarke definitely shows that in her playability. I mean, of course, she's mainly synonymous with horror, but she's also very good when it comes down with Oscar movies at times, and she's able to help, especially in her especially with Rachel. She helped complement Rachel when it comes to dramas, Oscar films, even with of course, other than horror, her next favorite slice is Sandra Bullock movies, although I don't see it pop up that more. And then having her,
I don't think we even have it as an option anymore, actually.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, during her early career, Sandra Bullock, that was like her second go-to slice.
Well, don't forget, wasn't she big on DC also?
What?
Yeah, I mean, she was on like she had her own DC like show that she would talk about.
Yeah, DC Daily. Yeah, DC Daily. That was part of the DC Universe app. Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of like that, and of course the DC original shows were the two reasons why I downloaded that app. And then of course the endless comics that came with it, which was a plus. But yeah, I loved the DC Daily. I mean, yeah, she's definitely really passionate about what she do. And that earlier comment that Leo had just had, her miss of Southside with me against her match against Ethan Irwin. That was also another opportunity. She said she came so close to playing against John Roca at Spectacular 3. If she had said Southside with you, but if she had said with me, we would not have seen it. Would have been Ethan versus Dan in a number one contenders match, and then her versus Roca for the championship. I mean, she was still going to play twice at Spectacular 3, and that's another great accomplishment that Clarke was able to do. That not many, I mean, a few competitors were able to play 2 matches at Spectacular. I mean, of course, Ben Bateman's one of them, but Clarke, she was definitely one. I mean, Sam Levine did it at Spectacular 2, then Clarke followed later at Spectacular 3, but even were still big matches. Shirewolves versus Who's the Boss. That had so much on the line. I mean, because one thing I'm going to bring up with the Shirewolves, and I'm not going to spend much time on this, but as a fan at the time, huge supporter of Rachel and Clarke. I went to LA for that live show when they played against Team Action. And
I am so jealous.
Oh, it was a blast just being there. But afterwards, I remember the fan base, they were really coming down hard on the Shirewolves because their path to the belt, they were criticizing it heavily because, oh, I thought that why did they get the belt so fast? How come they have to do all this? And I was furious looking at these comments to where they don't understand, even if they played only 3 matches to get to the belt, it was still the same track record every team had to do. Get 2 or 3 matches, then you get a number one contendership, and then play for the belt.
Right.
And even then, when people were trying to compare them to the Patriots even played 2 matches to get a number one contendership to play against top 10. So however they want to try to cut it, the Charlotte, they didn't play in the team's tournament. They had to play regular teams matches to get to the belt. And even then, anything could have happened. If the Charlotte had lost to Breanne Chandler, sick in the head, that would have been it for them. They would have split up, and then Rachel and Clarke would have played in Anarchy. I'm kind of glad they didn't because we've never gotten that great match against Who's the Boss.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, honestly, though, even with their track record, though, even if they just played 1 match together and won, they deserved that chance because they proved themselves how many times defending that belt that they were there to win. So
yes, I mean, when even in their biggest losses, it came down to their 5-point question. When they lost to Odd Couple, came their 5-point question. When they lost to Corruption, their 5-point question. And when they got the belt back from the Odd Couple, it got to their 5-point question. So whenever you played against the Shirewolves or when you watched their matches, they always brought the best out of their opponents. Outside of the 2 knockouts in their record, they still put down like pay-per-view. They put down pay-per-view quality matches. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, and that's like the great thing about them too, though, was I mean both those ladies, but also like just like Clarke as like an individual singles player was that they never were too cocky. They always went in there just like just trying to play their best. They knew that they were smart and they had confidence, but they were never over cocky. So
right.
Agreed. Ben, do you have any thoughts that you want to add on Clarke Wolfe? Like any moment from her time with Rachel that stuck up to you? I mean, I know for me, I want to talk about her match against Kalinowski and Sam, but Ben, you got anything?
I mean, we could not hop into that Clarke versus Kalinowski. Clarke versus Kale. Let's talk about that. You want to do? Go ahead.
Sure. I just wanted to see if any thoughts you have. I mean, were you able to watch that match between Clarke and Mike?
Yeah, it's a great match between those 2. I mean, I love the dynamic they had. It was great. What are your thoughts on it?
Let's see here. I love the Kalinowski one. It's probably one of my favorites because of the sudden death towards the end of it. and them going head to head, back and forth. And then finally, that last question and everything, it wasn't for, I forgot what the last question was, but I know Kalinowski was actually, didn't even have it. He had Dustin Hoffman. And then
it was the Kung Fu Panda question. Yeah. Who played the sensei? Who played the mouse? Who played the mouse martial arts teacher in Kung Fu Panda? Yeah.
Right. And then Clarke comes back with the answer, and he knows it right then and there. He just puts down his board. He goes, "I didn't have it. I had Dustin Hoffman." Next thing you know, it.
Oh wait, I got that question wrong. I got the question wrong.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. But still, I mean, that was just awesome, though, on the way that, Kalinowski just handled it. He just puts this thing down, and he goes, "I had Dustin Hoffman. I didn't even have it." Next thing you know, it Christian announces her as the winner and everything, and then Andrego and everybody comes over there and hugs her out of the Charlie Angels theme song. So I thought that opening Charlie's Angels theme song was actually perfect for them. Not only that, but I was laughing my ass off at Andrego coming out there with the wig and everything else. This just made me laugh, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show you how much of an amazing competitor that Clarke actually is. And under pressure, she handles pressure really well and everything when it comes down to it.
You were 100% true. I mean, that sudden death against her and Mike, and also her sudden death against Sam. I mean, it was taking it one question at a time, focusing on, do I know this or do I not know this? And even then, just looking at how well that Sam and Mike were just as opponents against her, it was more of like you said, Mike was very respectful when he didn't know it, and even Clarke reverberated that same respect towards Sam when she missed that animated question. But even then, just knowing it's just like looking at that match against Mike. I think it was either Mike or Clarke that missed their last question that led to sudden death. But just knowing the fact that with Clarke, with both of her matches against Mike and Sam, if she had just gotten one of her round 3 questions correct, she would have been the new champion. She would have. I mean, she not only would have beaten Mike, no sudden death, she also would have beaten Sam Levine, become the new champion, and then she and Rachel would have been working their way towards that team's belt. But despite that, knowing that how well she was great. I mean, her road in the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament was incredible. Beating Ben Bateman, going up against her partner Mark Andreyko. Like, that's the one thing I loved about Clarke Wolfe. She just came to. I already said this before, but yeah, she came to play, but she always did it with a smile on her face. And I know we're getting closer towards the end, but one thing about Clarke, she was a good performer with those entrances.
Oh man, those are my favorite. Like, I just like, especially like when they dressed up as like a league of their own. Like, just everything they did. Like, I just loved all those entrances. Were so fun and so entertaining, and like definitely like put like a smile on your face. Like going into the match, you're like, all right, this is gonna be like an exciting match to watch because like they're enjoying themselves, and I think that goes a long way while watching.
Definitely, most definitely.
I think one of my favorite entrances that involved Clarke.
Go for it.
With the Riley entrance against Wonka with a Karate Kid.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So good. I love
that.
I also like the one where Clarke and Rachel were Loki and
Yep.
That was an awesome one.
Yes. I mean, I could list almost. I can't list them by heart, but I can literally put together a top 10 list of her best entrances. My, of course, favorite is still when they, of course, the whole what they did against the debut of against the Wildberries. Yep. I love the Girls Run the World at Spectacular 3. They're dressing up as the narrator and Tyler Durden for the LA Live against Team Action. Of course, League of Their Own for the Shirewolves. When she dressed up as Makuga for her second match against him. And then, of course, when they dressed up as Zombie Patriots against the Team Patriots, coming out to Thriller and doing the Thriller dance. Oh, God. And Oh wait. Her. Oh, of course. With her and Andreyko match, they just came out. They both came out together with just the two of us playing, which was like
that was the funny one. Yeah.
Camaraderie.
And like that's like honestly like going from that, like watching all of her like exciting entrances and all of her matches that she had, like I really wish and that's why I'm saying never say never who knows if she'll come back or not, but that girl deserves a singles championship belt. And
1,000%.
Obviously I want one day, but I mean, even if I got the chance to like, play against someone just like her, like I think that would just be like such a huge honor because that girl deserves it. She's like, for me at least, like the show is called Schmoedown, and I feel like her face should be up there, like forever and ever. I think she will go down as one of the best Schmoedown players to ever play the game. I hope I will be right next to her, like my face will be right next to her. But for the time being, I think she definitely deserves that, and I think she will forever go down as one of the best players to ever play.
Agreed. I mean, believe me, if we could get more faces on our thumbnail, I'd immediately want to put Clarke Wolfe, right? But I want to put Clarke Wolfe. I take out Roka and put Clarke Wolfe in there. But and I don't care if someone from Outlaw Nation comes after me. Roka is a 2-time singles and a 2-time team champion. Still, Clarke Wolfe is an amazing competitor to me. But John, Ben, any more thoughts? Any more highlights of Clarke Wolfe before we wrap up?
I just wanted to say, even though we didn't get much of it, she was a great commissioner too.
Yeah. Dude, I want that girl to call one of my matches. I mean, I might be super awkward though during it because I just be like, oh my god, I just want to be you. So I don't want to embarrass myself at all. But
I mean, we did see this season, like in a cutscene that Grace did put her down to going on the desk. So I'm hoping maybe by these next upcoming tournaments, either Star Wars, IG, or some singles tournaments, we see Clarke on that desk. And then when we're back to studio, I would love for a cutscene to where Grace is overthrown as president and Clarke is back in the scene as commissioner, or
that'd be awesome.
Be a manager.
Man, let's see.
I hope Miss Grace and Christian are listening right now because I think we're giving them some awesome ideas to use. Just saying, guys. So.
No worry. I mean, great. Look, it's great. She's not watching anyway. No
someone just send this to her. That's all. We'll just like harass her DMs. Just slide in there real quick.
Yeah. Okay. But as we're like really coming down, wrapping up here, it's just like final thoughts, guys. I mean, seriously. I mean, just once again, her accomplishments, like Rookie of the Year, like in 2016. She. Of course, her and Rachel, like babyface team. Like, at the second Schmoedown Awards, her and Rachel really cleaned up very well when it came with slices. Like, just moment of the year, match of the year. Just babyface team of the year, best teams entrance, new team of the year. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, 2018 literally was the year of the. I mean. Let me try. Yeah, 2018 was the year of the shirewolves.
It really was. I'm actually like looking at their like accomplishments. They literally took over. They took home that award show. That they swept all categories pretty much in that award show. That's for damn sure. But I mean, she even won the Yodi Award. Like she really is one of the best players to ever set foot into the Schmoedown. And I mean. Never say never, man. Just because people retire or step away doesn't mean they can't come back. So in one form, shape, or another. So
Dan and Mark Riley are proof. Yeah, they retired and they came back. I mean, who's to say that Clarke will not be on that list as well of players coming back? And even Mara. I mean, of course, Mara. She left and then she came back, and you see what she did. And knowing with Clarke, maybe I'd say even Rachel or heck, even Stam, maybe they'll tease us with an eventual return, maybe in the exhibition match or so. But even then, I would love to see them in.
I'm just waiting for Sam to play against in the Managers Bowl, just so we can sweep all those teams real quick and just show them who's real boss real quick. But
you know what, Matt? I want to see is a shirewolves versus corruption. That would be a killer
rematch
match.
between the things. Yeah, I
I
would love
do
that.
want a rematch with them. That's for damn sure. Because I mean, I've gotten to know like her better half of her of the Shirewolves, which is Rachel, because her man is Sam Levine, who's my manager, and like that woman is still a freaking genius. Let's just say that though. She definitely has not stopped the grind no matter what. So I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, the corruption. Yeah, the rematch corruption. And I did say this earlier on when we talked about Sam Levine, gentlemen, but I would love finally to see an exhibition match, Above the Line versus Shirewolf. Like, what that match would have actually been like if Sam didn't retire and we would have seen Above the Line defend their belts against the Shirewolves. I would love just to see an idea of what that team's match could have been like.
Same here. That would have been awesome.
I think we need to make this happen, even if we just do it like on our own little private event or something. We need to see them come back and play against each other.
Yeah, put together do like what ESPN does, like create a simulation and then just put it together, and then just have like an AI just bring in their movie knowledge and their personality, and then we'll just display it on our channel, and then it'll inspire Christian and go, maybe they'll do this, maybe a Schmoedown video game again.
I still play.
Me too.
All right. But honestly, there's so much we can say about Clarke Wolfe that we can almost do for 2.5 hours, but we want to at least keep this tight here. We've had our episodes in the past where we've gone past that 1 hour mark. So final thoughts, everybody. I will go, since I dominate so much, I'll get my stuff out of the way so then all of you guys have the floor. My main final thoughts on Clarke Wolfe, as I've said, honestly, my top 3 favorite Schmoedown competitor, someone I believe deserved, to reiterate what Paige said, deserves a singles championship. One of the best team players I've ever seen play. No disrespect to JTE, Merle, Roca, or Snyder and Andraco, but damn great teams player. And of course, seeing her on the desk, just her unshakable wit, her flexibility of able to really go with the flow. And goddamn, I do want to see her as commissioner again. I want to see her as commissioner. We were robbed of what could have been like the reign of Clarke Wolfe. Honestly, Clarke Wolfe's reign as commissioner. But other than that, so much I can say about her is just like more. I don't know if Clark's ever going to watch it or not, but just to say, we love you, Clarke. We miss you in the Schmoedown. We really hope we get to see you again. And now I leave the floor. Now I'll pass the baton off to John. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say this. Clarke is just a phenomenal player in and outside of the Schmoedown and everything too. She's just a phenomenal person altogether. She has wit, she has grace, she has style. Yes, I'm quoting Tom Jones. I don't care. But, she is just the classy one. She'll always be the classy one. She's always going to end up putting a smile on someone else's face. She's going to be the person that is going to comfort their teammate no matter what, win or lose, or even if you're not even her teammate or anything like that. She's still going to be that one person that will be there for somebody. Great. And, what can I say about Clarke Wolfe? She's just a phenomenal player. I love her back and forth, like Ryan mentioned, and everything too, when it comes down to her mark being on the end of the spectrum where they're just commenting on the show and everything else as commentators. I really loved her as that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what she can do as far as the commissioner goes. But we're just going to have to wait and see if that's what happens. But Clarke will always be the classy one. I like you, and I can't wait to see what we have in store. Thank you, Clarke, for the amazing Schmoedown competitiveness that you showed us, and I can't wait to see more from you if you ever give us more.
Well said. Let's continue around. Paige, any final thoughts you have on Clarke?
I mean, I guess I'll quote Miss Congeniality when I say she's beauty and she's grace and she's definitely Miss United States. I mean, I've said this before, and I mean, I'll say it again. That woman, she literally is my favorite competitor in the Schmoedown, singles and team-wise too. Her and the Shirewolves, that was my favorite team to ever play in the Schmoedown. So it's just like amazing to see that woman dominated on so many different levels and the fact that she's also given us women like platforms in this league just to show that we can play against the men and we can dominate, and it's not just a male central game in a sense. It feels like an honor to be able to be a woman in this league because she played in a sense. So thank you, Clarke Wolfe, and I love you so damn much. Please come back.
And Ben, final thoughts wrapping us up before we sign off.
I mean, when can I say that you haven't? She has a whole package. I would love her to come back. She absolutely needs to have a singles belt. She deserves to be on that mount or that Hall of Fame or whatever. We love watching her and we want her to come back eventually. That's all I have to say.
We love you.
Yes, we love you so much, Clarke. But also, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us as we really went back through memory as we talked about Clarke Wolfe. Yes, as the phrase "never say never," we hope, pray, wish, maybe use a monkey's paw to bring. No, actually, not monkey's paw because then we do something. Actually, we pray that Clarke will find some time to dedicate to the Schmoedown so we can see her on our YouTube TV or on our iPhone screens once again. Otherwise, I mean, I still like what she's doing on Twitch with The Walking Dead. So I still get an opportunity to see what Clarke does. But other than that, thank you everyone for joining us on our episode with Clarke Wolfe today. We also, John, Ben, we do want to thank Paige. Really, thank you so much for taking some time.
Oh, thank you guys.
I do appreciate it.
Thank you. And also everyone on the rewatch, if you're rewatching, please check out any of our other previous videos here on the Schmoes in the North. We've had so many competitors we've talked about, like Sam Levine, Drew McWeeny, Stacey Howard. We talked about Christian and Mark Ellis, and even our old episodes when we talked about the Wildberries, Video Drew, Eric Zipper, Brianne Chandler, Emma Fife, Kim Natsock. We got so many out here on the Schmoes in the North channel. And just before on the end page, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you guys can actually find me in the Schmoedown. Boston Badass coming your way. Hopefully I will have a match soon so you guys can see me get my first W and dominate. So, but yeah, other than that, you guys can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Front Page News 9 right below. There it is. Yep. And I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Feature Flicks Without the C. And we post movie news, reviews, all that fun jazz. So definitely check it out, guys. And thank you guys so much for having me on tonight and literally letting me talk about and obsess over my favorite Schmoedown competitor to ever exist. So thank you, guys.
You're very much welcome. We're definitely glad to have you here. John, where can all the people find you?
You guys can go on ahead, head over to Movie Lovers Unite on YouTube. Of course, you guys can we're also doing our mental health movie review. So we're doing Silver Linings Playbook tonight at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific Time. Of course, you guys can only go on ahead as well, go down to our audio format and get an audio format of our show. Then, of course, go to www.movieloversunite.com. We post movie news, movie reviews, TV show news, and all that other good stuff. Go on ahead, head over there. On Instagram, follow us underneath the same title at Movie Lovers, TV Lovers Unite over there. On Instagram, Pinterest, and then, of course, you can follow me at Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter underneath the same name, Movie Lovers Unit, as well on Stereo. And those are all the places that you can reach me at. You can, of course, go on ahead and reach me at movieloversunite@gmail.com.
Ben, my brother, where can they all find you?
You guys can find me at my Twitter at Ben_radio. You can find me here every week on Mount Schmoedown. You can also find me on the Media Sweaties YouTube channel every Thursday on Shooting the Breeze, every Friday on Recapping the Past, and every Saturday on Get Sweaty, and every Monday on the Mighty Ducks reviews.
Oh, yep. Yeah, check out the Mighty Ducks reviews here on the Schmoes in the North channel, guys. They really do. I mean, if you're a big Mighty Ducks fan of the films and you are loving the Disney Plus series, please jump here to Schmoes in the North and get watch Ben, Frenchie, and all the other fellows here at Schmoes in the North talk about that show. All right, do those reviews. And then finally capping off, of course, guys, find me here at Mount Schmoedown here on the Schmoes of the North channel. And if any of you at home are wrestling fans, I do have a wrestling podcast I co-host with James Shimo, who is of the Class League. It is called the Wrestle Ramblings and Rages podcast. It's available on Spotify, Apple, and Podbean. And if you ever want to listen to us live, we do our reviews and recaps on the Stereo app. Let's sign off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming to watch, enjoy, and hang with us as we talk about the greatest and the classiest of Clarke Wolfe. And have yourselves a great day, afternoon, and night.
Have a good one.